It's been a while, lyric lovers. Where'd we last leave off? Ah yes, Holding Absence and before that Sleep Token. Two incredibly powerful lyrical masterpieces that delve deep into the heart of what it means to struggle, what it means to love, what it means to live. So, let's do something completely different this time. How about an entire album that only contains one song and a grand total of 4 lines of lyrics, 2 of which are the same? You're confused? That's fine. I'm Rustin Charmaine, and this is Exploring the Concept. So, an entire album's worth of emotionally invigorating material that is entirely instrumental bar one section of one song. How and why am I going to tackle this? Well, once upon a better time there was a YouTuber called Sideways, please come back, who made a series of frankly phenomenal videos exploring musical theatre and the art of songwriting. A pretty obvious inspiration for what I do over here. Well, my favourite video of his was on the musical Cats, where he mostly riffed on how awful the film version is and, well, yeah, but also discussed how the entire production is just one long build up to a single crescendo, that being the infamous song Memory, and what a crescendo it is. And that is something that has stayed in my mind for a very long time, the idea of building to one moment for so long, and how perfect that moment then has to be. The next of my flimsy reasons to cover this album is a YouTube comment that I can hopefully find and put here when I'm editing the video. It might have been a Reddit comment actually, I'm not really sure, but it was a critique of a song that I've made a lyric video for here on the channel, When the Bow Breaks by Sleep Token. The criticism went something along the lines of, I love the end part, but why does the beginning have to be so long? Well, my fledgling music lover, that's because the end part was only as good as it was because the beginning was so long. The build to a crescendo is just as important as the moment itself, if not more so. And that leads us into the debut and so far only album from Salt Lake City's BLACKSHAPE, a self-titled effort from 2021 that spans 11 tracks and almost 45 minutes. Or does it? There are no breaks between songs, each flows into the next so imperceptibly that when listening to the album the only way you'd know the track had changed would be if you were watching and waiting for it. And with track 11 similarly morphing into track 1, this album closes where it opens, creating a never-ending cycle. So is it 11 tracks and 45 minutes, or 1 track and infinite minutes? Personal opinion, it's 1 track and 45 minutes. Each track is named with a simple Roman numeral dictating its place in the running order, all bar track 10, and X really does mark the spot with this one. But I think that's enough preamble. Let's get stuck in and see why spending an entire album's runtime building to a single moment creates a piece of art that is truly unforgettable. We open in static that steadily washes away as synths and open guitars bleed through. This beginning stanza serves to open the gate and allow us to stare into the chasm before the journey begins. We establish an eerie and unsettling atmosphere that leads us into the song proper. Bursting forth from the airy space of the opening part, we have this dichotomy created by the contrasting guitar lines. The rhythm guitar struggles, writhing on the ground as if in excruciating pain, all while the lead guitar soars overhead, a majestic dove tearing through the sky without a care in the world, and without any mind of the carrion littering the earth below. The drumming follows the rhythm, guiding the listener to move with the hardship rather than release with the higher, more evenly spread notes in the harmony. In the opening lines of chapter 3, we don't venture too far from the image that his predecessor painted, picking up the pace a little before dropping everything away. In the second part of the passage, the lower rhythm notes slow to become regular, whilst the lead becomes more staccato, invoking a sense of panic where was once calm, as if the trouble brewing below has finally reached the once peaceful sky. Then the motions and melodies of the once opposing guitar parts synchronize, the heavens and the earth combining to defeat what dwells beneath. The bass tones in this section are a shortcut into the amygdala, throwing panic and unease into every fibre of your being, fight or flight engaged. And as the tempo slows to end the chapter, the sense of dread only heightens. The fourth installment in this saga opens with us trudging through the mire, weighed down by the ghosts of our past and the trials of our present. But there is something triumphant in how it progresses, marching onwards before collapsing into something that feels almost hopeful. The lead comes down to guide the rest of the track into the light, and we emerge in a space that is brighter and cautiously optimistic. But just as the lead tries to ascend to its final victory cry, it falters, and the riffs become heavier and more saturated with sweat than ever before. Chapter 5 begins where 4 left off, riffing and blasting along with determination. The leads play around in harmony, attempting to pull the bass roots of the song free from oversaturated soil, but to little avail. Towards the end of this segment, the dissonant notes become more pronounced than ever before, as our uncertainty over the path we have taken becomes unavoidable. And this time, when the pause in the action comes, it is not the lead guitar that moves us into the next section, but the rhythm, showing how we have allowed the darkness to take hold. Is there a way out from here? Is there light at the end of this tunnel? Five ends so abruptly into this endless expanse of barren that it jars us into a somber reality. 6 facilitates a shift in dynamics from what we have built in 4 and 5 into something a little different in 7. Alarm bells ring. Sirens resound through this part of the piece as the bass and drums double down, but the rhythm seeks to elevate to where the lead once was, becoming trapped in a no man's land that brings about a seemingly inevitable fall back into crunching riffs. 7 ends with what feels like it could be a Biffy Clyro riff before diving down, plummeting out of control into the longest, most dominating part of the story so far. At a shade over 8 minutes long, the 8th installment of this album is the longest and the most meaningful to this point. More than any other, this segment feels like a fight. No, a battle. Whether it be one from within or without. Either way, the lighter half struggles to climb back to where it was in the opening stages of our song, whilst our darker side attempts to break free from the shackles that have been in place from the very beginning. Piece by piece, inch by inch, we work our way free, moving through the scale and sound to find ourselves cresting the hill, getting a glimpse of what lays beyond. Until, from nowhere, the lead drops entirely, and our hope disappears from view. We soldier on in search of what is now lost to us, becoming steadily more frantic, before finding it in a state of ravage, broken and fragmented. Our anger spills, surfacing for the first time, drawing us closer to a final conclusion. We wallow in the mire of what could have been happiness. We console ourselves with what came of our efforts and vow to move on, try another route. No numbers this time, but a strange word. A T heel heel. What could that mean? Let's find out. We start slow, somber, steadily building our way into this latest refresh in our journey. The high harmonies that once felt so immediate and present now feel a distant memory, as the once chuggy rhythm guitar arpeggiates in an attempt to take its place, leaving the sound with an unmistakable feel of missing something, missing them. And then, in a flash, they return, and we are euphoric. We've done it. Finally we can relax, rejoice. All is right with the world for this moment at least. We revel in the triumph of it. And as the dust settles, in the safety that we have managed to cultivate, they sing to us. And we respond.
If this is it, if this is all there is, I hope you live, I hope you live. If there's no end, and we are infinite, still I hope you live, I hope you
That's probably going to make this video completely unmonetizable, but I don't care. 35 minutes of building to a crescendo, I had to play the entire thing. It's perfect, and our only lyrics of the album, the acronym ZOLD, but what do they mean? Well, they're very earnest and forthright, meaning exactly what they state. I did this for you at my own expense, and I do it again and again and again ad infinitum. A perfect resolution, but not the end. We allow ourselves a moment here in the second longest chapter of this epic novella to allow our victory to wash over us. The leads dance in the harmony as the rhythm section punches and kicks in the undergrowth, powering us along this merry highway. This song reminds me of the Vaudeville album I covered in this series, how joyous that was. But this one comes with a sense of dread, knowing what must happen. A self-fulfilling prophecy perhaps, but one that we have already vowed to repeat, and so we must. This fight by its very nature may never end, and so as we come to what seems to be the close of this story, it merely opens anew. So yes, this album is my cat's. Iti Tiati Heel Heel, and I do insist on pronouncing it like that, is my memory. Only I think this payoff is even better. I'm aware that some people, even within the post-rock world, aren't a fan of instrumentals, and that's fine, but I think I enjoy them more than the lyrical works, especially within this genre. But having said that, the best moment of this album is when it does become lyrical. Those lines, sparse and straightforward as they are, feel more impactful and powerful to me than much more poetic lines that I've covered in other videos. It's like having a stoic person express their love for you. When a more emotionally connected person spins flowery verbiage, it's still lovely to hear, but it becomes the norm. But when a person not known for stringing together glowing lines of love finds a way to express their adoration, it hits so much harder. Waiting 35 minutes for the moment to come might be too long, I'll admit, but it's so perfect when it happens that I'd have gladly waited twice as long. Not every moment in life can be a crescendo, and whilst the wait may feel laborious at times, it's worth it when it's over. Or, at least, we hope it is. This has been Exploring the Concept. I've been Royston Charmaine, and until the future, drive safe. We open in static that steadily washes away as synths and open guitars bleed through.